Hi there. So today I'm going to show you how to make a number 301 lock stitch straight stitch seam sample. First step is you need to make sure that your machine is set to stitch number 1. You can tell if this is done by the screen up here and if this says number 1, and this one does, so we are ready to go. Second step is you're going to pin together 2 pieces of fabric. So I'm going to pin the right sides together. That means the print side is touching each other. And I'm going to put 2 pins in my fabric. I'm going to make sure that the pins are placed perpendicular to the fabric with the head of the pin sticking out of the fabric. I'm also making sure that I'm going through both sides of the fabric so my pins show up on both sides. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to place the fabric in to the machine. I'm going to lower the presser foot and I'm going to make sure that the edge of my fabric is lined up with this 5/8 seam allowance line on the metal needle plate. I'm going to go ahead and sew forward a few stitches and then I'm going to stop and I'm going to hit this back stitch button. Looks like a little U-turn button. I'm going to hold it in while I sew backwards for about 5 or 6 stitches. This secures the seam in place so the 2 pieces of fabric will not come apart. Then I'm going to continue sewing straight, removing the pins as I go so I do not run over them, which could break the needle or break the pins. And as I'm sewing, my eyes are watching that I'm lining up the edge of the fabric with this 5/8 seam allowance line on my metal needle plate. If it's not lined up, I continue to move the fabric so it keeps lining up with this line here. I remove the pin so I don't sew over it. And then I'm going to sew all the way to the edge of the fabric. As I get to the edge, I'm going to hold down this reverse button again, sew backwards about 4 or 5 stitches. I'm going to stop, lift up the presser foot, bring it over to the left of my machine and trim the threads in the thread cutter. And then I'm all done.